Chosen one, something's happened to you lately, hasn't it? You've gone quiet. Not the kind of quiet where you're choosing your words carefully. I'm talking about a silence so deep it scares you. You start typing a text message, your fingers flying across that phone, and halfway through, something stops you. Delete, delete, delete. Your daughter calls, complaining about the same thing she's complained about for 15 years. And this time, you don't give advice, you just listen. She says, "Mom, are you okay? You're acting weird." Your husband makes that comment, the one that used to set you off like a firecracker on the 4th of July, and you feel the words rising in your throat like hot lava. But they don't come out. Your mouth won't move. It's like heaven itself reached down and put 2 fingers over your lips. You think you're losing your mind. You think maybe it's the medication, maybe it's age, maybe you're just tired of fighting. But what if I told you something that's going to shake you to your core? God didn't take your voice. He shut your mouth to save your life. Listen to me carefully. The silence you're experiencing right now, this strange, uncomfortable, almost unbearable quiet, this isn't depression. This isn't you giving up. This isn't weakness creeping in with your gray hair. This is a divine muzzle. God has put you on airplane mode. You're still connected to heaven, but people can't reach you the way they used to. He's placed spiritual tape across your mouth not to humiliate you, beloved, but to protect the prophecy that's forming inside you. Because if you speak too soon, you will abort what heaven is building. If you defend yourself right now, you will destroy the vindication God's preparing. If you explain yourself one more time, you will cancel the miracle that's 3 days away from manifesting. The enemy knows this. That's why everyone around you is suddenly provoking you, testing you, pushing every single button you've got. But God is saying, do not speak a word. If you've felt this strange silence taking over your life, if people have been asking you, what's wrong with you lately? Type right now in the comments, I hear you, Lord, because what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes will explain why your silence is the most powerful weapon you've ever carried. You know what they've been calling you lately, don't you? Cold, distant, changed, like somehow, after 70, 80 years of giving everyone a piece of your heart, you're suddenly the problem because you finally learned to keep your mouth shut. Your daughter-in-law says you're not the same anymore. Your son thinks you're mad at him. Your old friends from church whisper behind your back, she's just not herself these days. And you sit there, in that kitchen you've cleaned 10,000 times, wondering if maybe they're right. Maybe something is wrong with you. But let me tell you something that's going to cut through all that noise like a knife through warm butter. You're not cold. You're just done warming people who refuse to appreciate the fire. You've been called rude because you stopped explaining yourself to people who never intended to understand you in the first place. You've been labeled standoffish because you quit chasing after relationships that only call you when they need something. You've been accused of being judgmental because your spirit finally got tired of watching people make the same destructive choices for the 30th year in a row. And here's what breaks my heart, beloved. You survived the Great Recession. Some of you lived through wars. You buried parents, spouses, dreams. You raised children in times when a single paycheck meant something and a handshake was a contract. You built this country with your bare hands and your faithful hearts. And now, suddenly, your silence is the problem? Let me ask you something that's going to sting a little. How many decades have you been having the same conversation with the same people about the same issues? How many times have you given the same advice that nobody takes? How many family dinners have you sat through, biting your tongue while everyone talks over you like you're a piece of furniture? You're not losing your mind, dear one. Your soul is just done, wasting pearls on people who think they're costume jewelry. See, nobody prepared you for this part. Nobody told you that the hardest season of your life wouldn't be raising babies or paying mortgages or even burying loved ones. The hardest season is right now, when you've got all this wisdom, all this experience, all this hard-earned truth burning in your chest, and nobody's listening. You've been trying to explain a full symphony to people who live with the volume on mute. Your grandkids are glued to those phones, scrolling through lives that don't exist while you're sitting right there with stories that could change their entire trajectory. Your grown children are making the same mistakes you made 40 years ago, but when you try to warn them, they say, "Times are different now, Mum." Your friends want to gossip about Sister Jenkins, but when you try to speak life and truth, suddenly you're no fun anymore. So you stopped talking. And they noticed. Proverbs 17:28 says, "Even a fool is thought wise when he holds his tongue." But you're not being silent because you're foolish, beloved. You're being silent because you're finally wise enough to know that some battles aren't yours to fight with words anymore. You've been pouring water into buckets with holes in the bottom, wondering why nothing ever fills up. You've been trying to feed people who keep spitting out the bread you worked all night to bake. You've been lighting candles in rooms where people keep blowing them out and then complaining about the darkness. And heaven looked down and said, "Enough. My child has earned the right to rest their voice." But here's what the enemy wants you to believe: that your silence means you're finished, that you're irrelevant now, that you've got nothing left to offer, that you should just fade into the wallpaper and wait for the end. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. Your silence isn't your sunset, it's your setup. See, there's a pattern in Scripture that most preachers won't tell you about. Go back and look. Every single time God was about to shift someone's entire life, every time he was preparing a massive breakthrough, a stunning vindication, a miraculous turnaround, he shut their mouth first. Moses spent 40 years silent in the wilderness before God spoke from a burning bush. Joseph sat in that prison, silent, forgotten by the cupbearer, before Pharaoh called his name. Job's friends talked and talked and talked, but it was Job's silence before God that preceded his double restoration. Even Jesus, when they accused him, when they mocked him, when they spit in his face, Isaiah 53:7 says he opened not his mouth. Silence before the breakthrough is biblical. But here's what you need to understand right now, and I need you to hear this in your spirit, not just your ears. This silence God has commanded over your life isn't passive. This isn't you giving up or checking out or surrendering to loneliness. This is active warfare. This is strategic positioning. This is God putting you in stealth mode, because what he's about to do through you requires the element of surprise. You think your words don't matter anymore? Your silence is about to speak louder than 30 years of talking ever did. So, if this message is touching places in you that you thought were buried, if you're feeling something stirring in your chest that you haven't felt in years, don't you dare click away. You didn't stumble onto this video. God booked you a front row seat to this revelation, because what I'm about to show you next will explain exactly why heaven demanded your silence and what's about to break loose the moment you understand the power you're carrying. You know what nobody tells you about getting older? It's not just your body that changes, it's your mouth. I'm not talking about dentures or dry lips. I'm talking about something far more mysterious, something that's been happening to you lately that you can't quite explain. You used to have an answer for everything. You used to be the one everybody came to for advice. You could talk your way out of any argument, explain your side of any story, defend yourself against any accusation. Your tongue was sharp, quick, ready. But now? Now, something's different. You open your mouth to speak, and the words just stop. Like there's an invisible hand covering your lips. You type out a long explanation, and your finger hovers over the send button, but you can't press it. Something in your spirit screams, "Don't, not yet, not now." This isn't you losing your mind, beloved. This is God putting you under holy orders. This is what I call holy silence. And it's not what you think it is. Holy silence isn't the silent treatment you used to give your husband when he made you mad. It's not passive aggression. It's not you shutting down emotionally because you're tired of fighting. Holy silence is obedience to a direct command from heaven. Be still and know that I am God. Let me show you what this looks like in Scripture, because what's happening to you right now has happened to God's chosen ones throughout history. Think about Zechariah. This man was a priest, respected, trusted. One day an angel appeared to him and said, "Your wife Elizabeth is going to have a son." But Zechariah did what most of us would do. He started talking. He started explaining why that was impossible. "She's too old," he said. "I'm too old. This doesn't make sense." And you know what God did? He struck him mute. Couldn't speak a single word for 9 months, not until baby John was born. Why? Because the promise was too delicate for careless words. Because some miracles can't survive human commentary. Chosen one, is it possible that God has done the same thing to you? Not as punishment, but as protection. Because the promise He's forming in your life right now is too precious to risk you talking it to death? Think about Jesus standing before Pilate. The religious leaders were screaming accusations, lies, twisted truths, vicious attacks on his character. And Pilate looked at him and said, "Aren't you going to answer? Don't you hear what they're testifying against you?" And Jesus said, "Nothing, not one word." The Son of God, who could have called down legions of angels, who could have spoken and split the earth open beneath their feet, He chose silence. Because there are some battles you don't win with words. You win them with obedience. You win them by trusting that God sees what you're going through, and He's already writing the ending. That's what's happening to you right now. There are arguments in your life that God will no longer let you win with words. He's going to win them with outcomes, but you have to shut your mouth long enough to let Him work. Listen to me carefully. Every time you've tried to defend yourself lately, how did it feel? Be honest. Didn't something in your spirit feel wrong? Didn't you walk away from that conversation feeling like you just made things worse, even though you were telling the truth? That's God stopping you. That's heaven saying, "I didn't give you permission to speak yet." Because here's what the enemy knows that you're just discovering. Your tongue is powerful. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." That's not poetic language. That's spiritual law. What you say creates. What you declare manifests. And right now, God needs you to stop creating with your words so He can create with His. Think about it like this. God has put a spiritual "do not disturb" sign on your mouth. He's drafted your tongue into heaven's army, and soldiers don't speak without orders from their commander. You used to talk your way through every problem. You used to explain, justify, defend, correct, teach, advise. But now God is saying, "I need you to trust me more than you trust your ability to communicate." This is hard for you, isn't it? Especially at your age. You've earned the right to speak your mind. You've lived long enough to know what you're talking about. You've got 70, 80, 90 years of wisdom. And now God is telling you to be quiet? Yes. Because this season isn't about your wisdom. It's about His sovereignty. There's a story in Exodus 14 that's going to wreck you. The Israelites are trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army. They're screaming, panicking, blaming Moses for bringing them out of Egypt. And Moses says something that should be tattooed on your heart. "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." You need only to be still. Not strategize, not explain, not defend. Be still. God is fighting battles for you right now that you don't even know about. He's having conversations on your behalf in rooms you'll never enter. He's shifting hearts that have been closed to you for years. He's moving pieces on a chessboard you can't even see. But every time you open your mouth to defend yourself, explain yourself, justify yourself, you're interfering with his strategy. Let me ask you something that's going to hit deep. What if the reason that relationship hasn't been restored yet is because you keep talking? What if the reason that family situation hasn't resolved is because you keep giving your opinion? What if the breakthrough you've been praying for is waiting on the other side of your silence? Your mouth has been your weapon for decades, but God is saying, put it down. I've got this one. If you've ever felt that check in your spirit, that sudden knowing that you shouldn't say what you were about to say, write in the comments right now. That's me. Because you need to know you're not alone in this. You need to know that God is doing this to thousands of his chosen ones right now, all across this nation. But here's what you need to understand. This silence isn't forever. It's strategic, it's seasonal, it's purposeful. And when God finally gives you permission to speak again, the words that come out of your mouth won't just be your opinion, they'll be his verdict, and nothing in hell will be able to stand against it. But first, you need to understand exactly what battles God is fighting while your mouth is closed. You know what's been eating at you, don't you? That conversation last Tuesday, the one where they twisted your words, made you look like the villain, and you just sat there. You didn't correct them. You didn't defend yourself. You didn't even try to set the record straight. And it's killing you inside. Your sister called yesterday talking about Mama's house, the one you've been maintaining for 3 years while she was off living her life in Florida. She's got opinions now. She's got accusations. She's rewriting history like she was there paying the electric bills and mowing that lawn every Saturday in the August heat. And you know what you did? You said, "Okay, we'll talk later," and you hung up. You didn't fight back. You didn't pull out the receipts. You didn't remind her that you were the one sitting in that hospital room at 2 a.m. when Mama couldn't breathe. Something stopped you. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. That something was God. And he stopped you because every time you defend yourself, you're taking his job. Let me show you what's really happening here. Romans 12:19 says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." But we read that verse and we think it's just about revenge. No, beloved, it's about vindication. It's about justification. It's about God saying, when someone comes against my child, that's my courtroom, not yours. You've been trying to be the defendant, the lawyer, the judge, and the jury all at once. You've been presenting evidence, cross-examining witnesses, delivering closing arguments. You've been exhausting yourself trying to prove what God already knows is true. But heaven is saying, get down from that bench. That seat belongs to me. Think about Job for a moment. His friends sat there for chapters, accusing him, psychoanalyzing him, telling him he must have done something wrong to deserve his suffering. And you know what Job did? He defended himself. Over and over. I am righteous. I didn't do this. You don't understand. But at the end of the book, God shows up. And when God speaks, guess who he vindicates? Job. Guess who he corrects? The friends. Job 42:7. The Lord said to Eliphaz, my wrath is kindled against thee, for ye have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job hath. Job's defense didn't save him. God's defense did. And that's exactly what's happening to you right now. God is closing your mouth so he can open their eyes. Your silence is going to preach louder than any explanation you could ever give. Because here's what you don't see yet. When you defend yourself, you give them something to argue with. You give them ammunition. You give them your energy, your peace, your sleep. But when you go silent, when you let God fight, they've got nothing to push against. They're swinging at air. And eventually, they start swinging at themselves. Proverbs 26:4 says it plain. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. You've been answering fools for 40 years. You've been explaining yourself to people who were never going to understand you anyway. You've been defending your character to folks who already decided who you are before you opened your mouth. God's saying that season is over. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about that church situation. The one where they pushed you out after you served for 23 years. They spread lies. They made you look like the problem. And every bone in your body wants to call a meeting, send an email, post something on Facebook, let people know the truth. Don't do it. That's what your flesh wants, but your spirit knows better, because God's already in that courtroom building his case. And when he's ready to present it, there won't be a shadow of doubt left in anyone's mind. You see, your silence is the evidence God will use. Every time you could have cussed somebody out but didn't, evidence. Every time you could have exposed them but chose to walk away, evidence. Every time you bit your tongue till it bled, evidence. God's stacking it up, documenting it, recording it in heaven's archives. And when the time comes for your vindication, he's not going to need your testimony. Your life is going to testify for you. Let me tell you who God refuses to let you keep talking to anymore. It's the people who only call when they need something. The relatives who show up at family reunions with amnesia about what they did to you. The so-called friends who smile in your face and then question your integrity behind your back. God is cutting off those conversations, not because he's mean, but because he's strategic. He knows that every word you waste on people who won't receive it is a word stolen from your destiny. Moses understood this. Exodus 14:14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. That wasn't a suggestion, that was a command. And the very next verse says the Red Sea opened. Your Red Sea is about to open, but you've got to hold your peace long enough for God to part it. So what do you do when your son calls and blames you for everything wrong in his life? You listen, you love him, but you don't defend yourself. What do you do when they're dividing up the inheritance and acting like you weren't the one who sacrificed? You step back, you let God be God. Because, chosen one, you're about to discover something that's going to change everything. There's a specific moment when God will release your voice again, and when he does, you won't need to defend yourself. You'll speak, and mountains will move. But that moment hasn't come yet, and if you speak too soon, you'll miss it entirely. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you next will explain exactly what God is protecting you from by keeping you quiet right now. Listen to me very carefully, chosen one. There are people in your life right now, people you've known for decades, who will never understand you. Not because they can't, because they won't. You've been explaining yourself to them for 20, 30, 40 years. You've laid out your heart like an open book. You've justified your decisions, clarified your intentions, apologized for things you didn't even do. And what happened? They twisted every word. They quoted you wrong at the family reunion. They told your own story back to you like you're a stranger. God is shutting your mouth right now because he's removing you from courtrooms where you were never meant to defend yourself. Let me show you the 3 types of people heaven has forbidden you to keep pouring into. And beloved, if you recognize them, it's not coincidence, it's confirmation. First, the willfully deaf. These are the people who heard you perfectly the first time. They understood exactly what you meant, but they looked you dead in the eye and said, I don't know what you're talking about. They make you repeat yourself until you sound crazy. They ask the same questions over and over, not because they're confused, but because they enjoy watching you scramble to explain what was already crystal clear. You know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you? That family member who makes you re-explain your boundaries every single holiday. That friend who conveniently forgets every conversation where you said, "No, they're not deaf, beloved. They're defiant." And God is saying, stop giving words to people who've chosen deafness. Second, the professional twisters. Oh, these are dangerous. These are the ones who take your truth and turn it into their weapon. You say, "I need some space to heal." They hear, "She thinks she's better than us." You say, "I'm setting boundaries for my peace." They announce to everyone, "He's abandoned the family." You explain yourself. They misquote you. You apologize for the misunderstanding. They pull out a list of everything you did wrong since 1985. Remember that argument in July of '92? They do, with receipts, with witnesses, with a whole prosecution team ready to go. Proverbs 26:4 says it plain. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. You cannot win an argument with someone who rewrites the rules mid-conversation. You cannot clarify your heart to someone who's building their identity on misunderstanding you. Third, the energy leeches. These people don't want resolution. They want your reaction. They don't want peace. They want performance. They create drama, then sit back and watch you dance. You try to fix it. You try to smooth it over. You try to make everyone happy. And the moment you succeed, they create a brand new crisis. You've been their entertainment for years. Every phone call is a 3-hour loop of the same complaint. Every visit is a reenactment of old wounds. They don't want healing, beloved. They want company in their misery. And God will not allow you to keep drowning just to make someone else feel like they're not alone in the water. Here's what you need to understand. You've been refueling cars that have no intention of driving anywhere. You've been pouring living water into cups with intentional holes at the bottom. You've given and given and given, and they've taken and taken and taken, and somehow you're the one who ends up empty. But something shifted recently, didn't it? You started that text message and deleted it. You almost called them back and didn't. You opened your mouth to explain one more time, and nothing came out. You thought something was wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. God is right with you. He's cutting their access. He's removing their permission to drain you. He's putting a divine block on conversations that were never meant to go anywhere except in circles. Your silence isn't weakness. Your silence is warfare. It's you finally refusing to feed what keeps wounding you. Matthew 7:6 warns us, "Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you." Your explanations are pearls, beloved. Your vulnerability is holy. And God is commanding you to stop handing sacred things to people who've proven they'll only use them to hurt you. I know it feels cruel. I know it feels wrong to stop trying. You've been taught to turn the other cheek, to go the extra mile, to love unconditionally. But there's a difference between unconditional love and unlimited access. God loves everyone, but He doesn't give everyone the same level of intimacy. Even Jesus had an inner circle. Even Jesus walked away from crowds. Even Jesus refused to answer Pilate's questions. Your silence is you following in His footsteps. Right now, someone's face came to your mind. Maybe it's your sister. Maybe it's your oldest friend. Maybe it's someone at church who's been draining you for years. You don't have to say their name out loud. But if God just showed you who He's removing from your explanation list, type this in the comments right now. I release it. Because, beloved, your liberation doesn't require their understanding. Your breakthrough doesn't need their approval. And your peace sure doesn't depend on them finally getting it. God is moving you out of rooms that could never celebrate who you're becoming. And your silence is the exit door. But here's what most people don't understand about this kind of silence, and this is where it gets powerful. You want to know why God silenced you? because he's about to promote you. And promotion always attracts persecution. Listen to me carefully, beloved. What you're carrying right now, this next chapter, God is writing over your life. It's too valuable to be discussed at the kitchen table with just anybody. It's too fragile to be posted on Facebook. It's too sacred to be shared during small talk after church. Your next season is under construction, and God has declared the construction site off limits. Think about this. When a surgeon operates, does he invite the whole neighborhood into the operating room? Does he let people walk in off the street, breathing their germs, touching the instruments, offering opinions about where to cut? Absolutely not. He works in a sterile environment because one contaminated word, one careless touch, can kill the patient. Right now, God is operating on your future. And he's kicked everyone out of the room except you and him. You know what your problem has been for the last 70 years? You've been too available, too open, too willing to share your business with people who have no business knowing your business. And I'm not talking about being friendly, I'm talking about spiritual carelessness that has cost you more than you realize. You finally got that settlement check after fighting the insurance company for 3 years. Who did you tell? Your sister. And suddenly, relatives you haven't heard from since 1997 are calling, needing help with their electric bill. Coincidence? No, beloved. Sabotage. The doctor finally gave you good news about your blood pressure. You shared it in your prayer group, and Sister Martha, bless her heart, immediately said, "Well, you know, my cousin had good numbers too, and then she had a stroke." She spoke death over your progress before you even left the parking lot. This is why God has you on lockdown. Proverbs 29:11 says, "A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards." You've been uttering all your mind for decades, and the enemy has been listening, calculating, strategizing how to destroy what God is building. But not anymore. Not this time. Not this season. God has enrolled you in what I call Heaven's Witness Protection Program. Just like the FBI hides witnesses who are about to testify against dangerous criminals, God is hiding your plans, your progress, your prophecies from spiritual criminals who want to kill what's about to be born. You're not being antisocial. You're being obedient. You're not depressed. You're being protected. You're not losing your voice. You're learning warfare. Because here's what most people don't understand about spiritual warfare. Sometimes the battle isn't fought with your mouth open. Sometimes the victory comes when you know how to keep your mouth shut. Think about Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the angel Gabriel appeared to her and told her she would carry the Messiah, do you think she ran through Nazareth announcing it? "Hey everybody, I'm pregnant by the Holy Spirit." No man involved. Isn't that amazing? They would have stoned her before sunset. Instead, Luke 2:19 tells us, "But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart." She kept quiet. She protected the prophecy. She let God reveal what he had concealed. That's you right now, chosen one. You're carrying something so precious, so powerful, so paradigm-shifting that heaven itself has said, "Don't speak about this. Don't share this. Don't explain this. Just protect it." You are in heaven's incubator. It's warm in there. It's dark in there. It's quiet in there. And you might feel isolated, but that isolation is intentional. Because what's growing inside you, the reconciliation with your prodigal child, the financial breakthrough that's 3 weeks away, the healing that's manifesting in your body, the doors that are about to swing open, these things are fragile right now. They need silence to survive. Let me ask you something that's going to sting. How many blessings have you talked to death? How many miracles have you aborted with your mouth because you couldn't wait to tell somebody what God told you in secret? That business idea he gave you at 2 a.m. you told your brother-in-law, and he told you all the reasons it wouldn't work. You never started it. That move he whispered about, you mentioned it to your neighbor, and she filled your head with fear about crime rates and property taxes. You stayed put. That relationship he was restoring, you discussed it with your friend, and she reminded you of every reason you left in the first place. The reconciliation died. Your words have been killing your future, and you didn't even know it. But God, in His mercy, has hit the mute button. He's put you in a holy timeout, not as punishment, but as preparation, because what's coming next in your life cannot survive in a noisy environment. Ecclesiastes 3-7 says there is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. You've been speaking for 70-something years. This is your time to keep silence. And in that silence, beloved, God is doing something you cannot see yet. He's rearranging relationships. He's redirecting resources. He's removing obstacles. He's repositioning you for the greatest chapter of your entire existence. But only if you can keep your mouth closed long enough for heaven to finish the work. So before we go any deeper, I need you to make a decision right now. Are you going to protect what God is building, or are you going to talk yourself out of your next season? If you're ready to guard your future with silence, write in the comments, "Lord, protect my next chapter." Because what I'm about to show you next will reveal the 3 sentences you must stop saying immediately if you want to keep what God is about to give you. You know what nobody talks about? The war happening inside your chest right now. Because while you're sitting there looking peaceful on the outside, nodding your head, keeping your mouth shut inside, beloved, you are at war. Your flesh is screaming, your emotions are rioting. Every cell in your body wants to speak, wants to defend, wants to set the record straight. You rehearse entire speeches in the shower. You draft text messages in your head while you're standing in line at the grocery store. You know exactly what you'd say if you could just open your mouth. You've got the perfect comeback, the perfect explanation, the perfect way to make them understand. And then something stops you. Every single time you're about to hit send, every time your finger hovers over that button, something deep inside whispers, "Delete it." And you do. You delete it. Again, and again, and again. You think that's you being weak? You think that's you losing your edge, losing your fire, turning into some kind of doormat in your old age? No, chosen one. That's the Holy Spirit putting His hand over your mouth. Let me tell you something that's going to cut deep. The war you're fighting right now, this battle between your flesh that wants to talk and your spirit that says, no, this is the most important fight of your entire life. Not the battle you fought in your 30s when you were building your career. Not the one in your 40s when you were raising rebellious teenagers. Not even the one in your 50s when your marriage almost fell apart. This one, right now, this silent war at 70, at 75, at 80 years old, this is the battle that will determine whether you step into your greatest anointing or abort your final assignment. Because here's what the enemy knows that you're just starting to figure out. Your tongue has been your downfall for decades. Every promotion you lost, every relationship that fractured, every door that slammed shut, if you're honest with yourself. How many of those disasters started with something you said? Proverbs 18:21 doesn't stutter. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Not death or life. Death and life. Your mouth has the power to kill or resurrect, to destroy or build, to curse or bless. And for 70 years, beloved, you've been firing that weapon without training. You've been pulling that trigger every time your feelings got hurt, every time someone disrespected you, every time life didn't go your way. But God is saying, enough. I'm taking that weapon out of your hand until you learn how to use it. You think He's punishing you? He's protecting you. He's protecting your future. He's protecting the breakthrough that's 3 conversations away from manifesting. He's protecting the reconciliation that your words could destroy in 30 seconds. Listen to me carefully. You are not losing your voice. You are training your voice. Think about it like this. When a marksman goes to the range, what's the first thing they learn? Not how to shoot, how to not shoot, how to keep their finger off the trigger, how to control their breathing, how to wait for the perfect moment. Your silence right now is the shooting range. God is teaching you not to fire just because your feelings got triggered. He's training you to wait for His command, to speak only when heaven gives the green light. And I know what you're feeling. I've been there too. That itch in your fingers when you see that text message, that heat rising in your chest when they say your name with that tone, that absolute certainty that if you could just explain yourself one more time, they'd finally understand. But would they? How many times have you explained yourself already? How many conversations have you had trying to make them see your side? And did it change anything? Or did it just give them more ammunition? James 1:19 tells us, "Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." Swift to hear, slow to speak. You've spent 7 decades being swift to speak and slow to hear. God is reversing that pattern. He's detoxing your reactions. Your silence is not the end of your influence. It's the beginning of your authority. Because when you finally do speak again, and you will speak again, beloved, your words won't just be noise. They'll be nuclear. They'll carry the weight of heaven. They'll shift atmospheres. They'll break generational curses. They'll speak life into dead situations. But only if you win this war first. Only if you learn to let your flesh scream while your spirit stays silent. Only if you can sit in that kitchen at 2 in the morning with your heart pounding and your mind racing and your fingers itching to type and choose obedience over expression. This is your Romans 12:1 moment. Present your bodies a living sacrifice. Your mouth is part of that body. Your tongue is part of that sacrifice. And God is asking you to lay it on the altar and walk away. I know it feels like dying, because it is. Your old nature is dying. Your reactive self is being crucified. Your need to be right, to be heard, to be understood, it's all being nailed to the cross. But here's what happens after crucifixion: resurrection. Your silence is the tomb where your new voice is being formed. And when that stone rolls away, when God finally says, "Now you can speak," the words that come out of your mouth will raise the dead. So let me ask you something. Can you feel it? That battle raging inside you right now? Your heart racing, your mind spinning, your flesh screaming to be heard? Drop these 3 words in the comments. That's my battle. Because you need to know you're not alone in this war. And you need to understand that this silence God has commanded, it's not forever, but it is for now. And what you do in this silent season will determine everything about your next chapter. Now listen to me carefully, chosen one. I know what you're thinking right now. You're sitting there wondering, okay, I get it. God wants me quiet. But what am I supposed to do with all these feelings? What do I do with this anger that's boiling in my chest? What do I do with these words that are choking me? Because silence without direction feels like punishment, doesn't it? It feels like you're being gagged while the world runs its mouth. Your daughter-in-law says something disrespectful at Sunday dinner, and you have to sit there like a statue. Your neighbor spreads lies about you, and God's telling you to zip it. Your own children are making decisions that are going to ruin their lives, and heaven has you on mute. It's torture, I understand that. But what if I told you that this silence isn't empty space? What if I told you that God has enrolled you in the most intensive training program heaven offers, and the graduation ceremony, that's going to shock everyone who ever underestimated you? You see, beloved, your silence is not an empty room. It's a training ground, and God is about to teach you 3 warfare techniques that will change everything about how you operate in the spirit realm. First, replace words with writing. I need you to do something radical. The next time you want to send that text message, the one where you're about to tell somebody exactly what you think about them, I want you to stop. Don't send it. Instead, open up a notebook. I don't care if it's a fancy journal or a spiral notebook from the dollar store. And I want you to write everything you're feeling, every raw emotion, every angry thought, every hurt, every disappointment. Write it like you're writing a letter to God Himself, because that's exactly what you're doing. Lord, you see what they just said to me. You heard how they disrespected me. You know I want to defend myself right now, but I'm choosing to give this to you instead. Psalm 62:8 says, Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Did you catch that? Pour it out. Not to your sister who's going to add fuel to the fire. Not to your best friend who's going to say, Girl, you need to tell them off. Pour it out to God. And here's what happens in the spiritual realm when you do this. Every word you write instead of speak becomes a prayer that ascends to heaven like incense. Your journal becomes a holy altar. Your pen becomes a weapon that fights battles you can't even see. Second, replace arguments with prayer walks. Now, I'm going to give you something that might sound strange, but trust me on this. The next time you feel that argument rising up, when you want to go toe-to-toe with your husband, when you want to call your son and give him a piece of your mind, I want you to stand up, put on your shoes, and walk. Walk around your house. Walk around your neighborhood if your knees can handle it. Walk around your apartment. And as you walk, I want you to pray for every room, every person, every situation that's making your blood boil. Walk past your daughter's room and pray, Lord, give her wisdom. Walk past the kitchen where that argument happened last week and pray, God, heal this house. Walk past that phone that's been ringing off the hook and pray, Father, give me the right words when it's time to speak. Proverbs 15:1 tells us, A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. But here's the secret. Sometimes the softest answer is no answer at all. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away and let your feet do the talking to heaven instead of your mouth doing the damage on earth. Every step you take in prayer is a step away from disaster. Every lap around your living room is a lap around the enemy's scheme. You're not running away, beloved. You're running warfare. Third, replace complaining with gratitude confessions. This one's going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to heal you in ways you can't imagine. For the next 7 days, every single time you feel the urge to complain about your health, your finances, your ungrateful children, the government, the weather, anything, I want you to stop yourself mid-sentence. And instead, I want you to speak out loud one thing you're grateful for. Your back is hurting? Thank you, God, that I can still walk. Your social security check is late? Thank you, Lord, that you've provided for me for 75 years. Your son hasn't called in 3 weeks? Thank you, Father, that he's alive and you're still working on his heart. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 commands us, Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Not give thanks for all circumstances. Give thanks in all circumstances. There's a difference. When you train your tongue to build instead of burn, when you teach your mouth to bless instead of curse, when you discipline your words to worship instead of whine, something shifts in the atmosphere around you. Hell loses permission to operate. Heaven gains access to move. And here's what most people don't understand. You're not too old to retrain your reactions. You're not too set in your ways. God is not done teaching you. In fact, He's been waiting your whole life for you to be mature enough, desperate enough, broken enough to finally submit to this level of training. Every time you choose silence when you could have exploded, heaven gives you a quiet standing ovation. Angels watch in amazement, demons flee in terror, because they know what's coming next. A warrior who has learned to control their tongue is about to be released with a tongue that controls atmospheres. But here's what you need to understand about this training. Your silence right now is doing something you can't see yet. It's not just changing you, it's healing your entire bloodline. And that's exactly what we're going into next. If you're willing to commit to this training for the next 7 days, if you're ready to replace words with writing, arguments with prayer walks, and complaining with gratitude, type in the comments right now, 7 days of holy silence. Because what I'm about to reveal to you next will explain why your obedience in this season is breaking generational curses that have haunted your family for 100 years. Listen to me, chosen one. What you think is happening right now and what's actually happening are two completely different things. You think God silenced you to humble you, to break you down, to make you small. But I'm about to tell you something that's going to explode every lie the enemy has whispered in your ear. Your silence isn't just protecting you, it's healing your entire bloodline. Think about your family for a moment. Go back 3 generations. Your grandmother, your mother, yourself. What was normal in your house growing up? Screaming matches at the dinner table, doors slamming so hard the pictures fell off the walls, words thrown like grenades that exploded in people's hearts and never stopped echoing. In your family, rage was the language of communication. Anger was how you solved problems. Volume meant you were right, and whoever yelled the loudest won the argument. That was normal. That was Tuesday afternoon. But something shifted in you recently, didn't it? Your son said that thing he always says, the cutting remark that used to send you into orbit. And this time, you felt the fire rising. You felt your mother's words forming in your mouth. The same words she screamed at you 40 years ago. The cycle was about to repeat itself, but your lips wouldn't move. God reached across eternity and put his hand over your mouth. Do you understand what just happened? In that moment, that single moment when you chose silence instead of retaliation, prayer instead of profanity, stillness instead of storm, you just broke a 40-year tradition. You are the first person in your family line to let God win an argument for you. Proverbs 15:1 says, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." Your grandmother never learned that. Your mother couldn't practice it. But you just became the circuit breaker in a generational pattern of destruction. Your children have been watching you their whole lives. They learned how to fight by watching you fight. They learned how to wound with words because they heard you wound with words. They learned that love looks like chaos because chaos was all they ever saw. But now they're watching something they've never seen before. They're watching you pray instead of panic. They're watching you retreat instead of retaliate. They're watching you trust God's vindication instead of defending yourself. And it's confusing the hell out of them. Literally. Because every demon that's been assigned to your family for the last 70 years has been banking on you doing what you've always done. They've been waiting for you to explode, to lash out, to prove that you're just like everyone else in your bloodline. But you didn't. You cut the power cord on a generational curse by refusing to plug in your ego. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening in the unseen realm right now. There's a grandchild in your future. Maybe they're already here. Maybe they're not born yet, but one day, 20 years from now, they're going to face a moment just like yours. Someone's going to provoke them. Someone's going to attack them. Someone's going to try to pull them into the same fight that's been destroying your family for generations. And they're going to remember you. They're going to remember the grandmother who didn't shout back, the grandfather who walked away, the elder who prayed instead of punched. And in that moment, they're going to make a different choice because you made a different choice first. Your silence today is their strength tomorrow. You thought God muzzled you because you were weak. He muzzled you because you're the strongest one he could find. You are not just surviving this season, beloved. You are rewriting the entire narrative your family tells about conflict, about power, about what it means to win. Isaiah 30:15 declares, "In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, not in volume, not in vengeance." In quietness, the fire that's been burning in your family for decades, you just turned it off. The rage that's been passed down like an heirloom, you just refused to accept it. This is not just about this moment. This is about the next 100 years of your family tree. If you feel this truth piercing your spirit right now, if you know you are the one called to break what's been breaking your family, write it in the comments. The curse stops with me. Say it out loud if you can. Let hell hear it. Let heaven record it. Because what God is about to release through your obedient silence will make everything you've endured worth it. But there's something else you need to know, something about the exact moment when God will finally open your mouth again, and the words he's going to put there when he does. Chosen one, I need you to lean in close right now, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything about how you see this season of silence. God will let you speak again, but not when you think, not when you're ready to prove you were right all along. Not when you've got your receipts lined up and your evidence organized like a lawyer in a Brooklyn courtroom. He'll open your mouth when your words are no longer about winning arguments, but about winning souls. When your goal isn't to prove you're right, but to prove he's good. When you stop needing to be understood and start needing to understand. Listen to me. The voice you'll carry when God releases you, it won't sound like the old you. That bitter edge, gone. That sarcastic tone that could cut glass, erased. That need to have the last word, dead and buried. When you speak again, people will feel the weight of heaven in every syllable. Your "I'm proud of you" will heal wounds your children have carried for 30 years. Your "I forgive you" will cancel debts that have compounded interest since 1987. Your "let's start over" will sound like music in a family that's only known noise. Proverbs 15:23 says, "A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word." Timely. Not constant, not immediate. Timely. God is not stealing your voice, beloved. He's tuning it. He's adjusting the frequency so that when you finally open your mouth, your words will bypass people's defenses and land straight in their hearts. You're a trumpet that heaven is polishing. And right now, you're in the quiet part of the song, the part where the whole orchestra goes silent and everyone leans forward, waiting. Because what comes next will be unforgettable. I'm going to give you the sentence that God will place in your mouth when the time is right. You're not there yet, but it's coming. Write this down. Memorize it. Let it settle in your spirit. I'm no longer fighting you. I'm letting God be God in this situation. That's it. That's the release sentence. When you can say that and mean it, not through gritted teeth, not with secret resentment bubbling underneath, but with genuine peace, that's when heaven says, now you can speak. But here's what breaks my heart. Some of you are going to break the silence too early. You're going to get tired of waiting. You're going to convince yourself that just this one conversation won't hurt. Just this one text message. Just this one phone call to set the record straight. And you will abort what God is building. James 1:19 warns us, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Slow to speak, not eventually speak. Not speak when you feel like it. Slow, intentional, measured. Your silence right now is the loudest sermon you've ever preached. Your family is watching. Your neighbors are watching. Even the angels are watching, taking notes on how a child of God handles being misunderstood, misrepresented, and maligned without opening their mouth to defend themselves. Heaven hears your silence. Hell fears it. And soon, very soon, earth will see the fruit of it. But I need you to do something right now. Not tomorrow, not after you finish watching. Right now. Put your hand on your chest. Feel that heartbeat? That's God's rhythm in your body. Now say these words out loud, even if you're alone in your apartment in Queens, even if your voice shakes. Lord, my words belong to you. Teach me when to speak and when to stay silent. Say it again. Let it break something stubborn inside you. Now I want you to type in the comments, and I need to see this. We all need to see this type. My voice is yours, Lord. Let this community of quiet warriors surround you. Let us agree together that our mouths are no longer our own. And listen, if this message met you right where you are in your living room, with that cold coffee, in your kitchen, staring out the window, in that quiet bedroom where you've cried yourself to sleep, wondering if anyone understands, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with one person, just one. Someone who talks too much out of pain, not out of peace. Someone who needs to know that silence can be sacred. Subscribe to this channel and stay connected, because I don't post noise. I post what heaven gives me for God's quiet warriors like you. And your next word from the Lord might be waiting in the video I release tomorrow. Your silence ends when God says so. Until then, beloved, rest in the quiet. Your greatest message is being written in the stillness.